Don't you just hate it when someone won't listen? They read an article in the newspaper and immediately they're an expert on a subject. They won't listen to the facts. Their mind is made up. But perhaps we are all the same. We have a little information and we think we know it all. Or our favourite celebrity says something that we agree with and it confirms us in our opinion. We never really bother to check out the facts for ourselves. A few years ago, I decided to dig deeper into the questions of science, God, and philosophy to try to get to the facts. Were the creationists right, and is evolution an evil myth? Were scientists right, and there's no need for God? Are we deluded if we think we have free will? Can miracles happen? Did Jesus even exist, and if so, was he just a good moral teacher? What is it that makes me me? It's impossible to gather all the information that there is, but I think I have enough to justify some conclusions. And those conclusions are what this book is about. I discuss each conclusion in a separate section of the book. You can read them all in one go or one at a time. You can choose to agree or disagree, but your choice will be based on deeper evidence than the popular press might provide. I challenge you to open your mind to the possibilities that the evidence suggests. Be ready to slaughter some sacred cows and enjoy the taste of barbecued beef. So here are my conclusions that I will explore in the following chapters. Everyone relies on faith. Science describes an incredible universe. The universe exhibits design and purpose. Not everything can be explained by science. Reason leads to a sound definition of God. Jesus lived and spoke for God. God has a purpose for each of us. And the final chapter describes what it looks like to live in the light of my conclusions, the way of the minimalist Christian. Almost all books in the arena of science and faith are hostile and adversarial. The authors set up straw men of their opponents' arguments, dismantle them, and then preach their own arguments to their disciples. Such books are written for those who already agree with the points of view of the author and want to be told how weak the argument against their views are. As such, many adopt an extreme and an uncompromising position. The neutral reader is forced to either take sides or dismiss the whole argument as irrelevant and simply get on with his daily life. In contrast, this is a book of information and reason. I have tried to present information and arguments in a balanced and gracious manner that allows you to consider the big questions of life without feeling bludgeoned to adopt my opinion. You don't need to be familiar with the subject matter to degree level. The science, philosophy, and religion are explained in a straightforward manner. I recognize that there are intelligent atheists and intelligent believers in God, and in the end there is always a case for whatever someone wants to believe. The reader is therefore treated with respect. However, I consider how we might have formed our beliefs and how we actually know anything. I've listed an appendix and interspersed in the text a number of common logical fallacies to highlight underhand tactics that are often used to convince the unwary through manipulation of emotion or fallacious thinking. The book explores and presents evidence from science and history and from ancient thinkers. It considers what we might mean by God, describes current scientific knowledge, and discusses what science tells us about God. The book also highlights areas where science and the laws of physics struggle to provide an adequate explanation of known facts. Over the centuries, many have claimed to speak for God and thereby gained powerful positions. In contrast, Jesus claimed to be one with God and was killed as a result. The book examines the historical evidence for Jesus and the context and content of the gospel documents. The book concludes by describing a response to the evidence put forward through the book. My response, Minimalist Christianity, focuses on simply following the teaching of Jesus, pursuing goodness and wholeness, and loving others. It distances itself from 2 millennia of religious dogma and intolerance that have made Christianity unattractive in the eyes of many.